Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to GameStack Podcast. This is episode 66, sending virtual hugs. Welcome one and all. Hello, I am your co-host, Vendertron. Joining us this evening is the wonderful, the beautiful, the vibrant Shalene.
Oh, well, thank you, Vender. Hello. Hello. My heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Three sides.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Rick is not able to join us for this show this evening. But Shalene and I hope that we can meet the caliber that Rick brings to the show with his personality and humor.
I tried to grow some sideburns, but I wasn't able to make it happen. So
on my desk by Monday.
Yeah.
It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. How do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I'm glad that it's Friday. I'm really glad that it's Friday.
Right?
It was a week, Fender. It was a week.
It's like, oh my God, finally Friday. We're here. We made it. We made it. We made it. What is a weekend? In my world, I don't know what a weekend is. But thanks everybody for joining us for this wonderful episode. If you're joining live, thank you. If you're listening after the fact, also thank you just as equally. You can find our shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all of your podcast platforms. Don't forget, guys, we're doing a charity stream, or a charity fund, as I should say. It's called the In It Together COVID-19 Relief Fund. We are raising money. Me in particular, I am raising money to put personal protective equipment on frontline healthcare providers across the world. This is a global initiative through Direct Relief. So far, get this, we have raised $2,799.69. Yeah.
That is a lot of gloves and masks and booties.
So we are over halfway to our goal of $5,000. If you are interested in donating to the In It Together COVID-19 Relief Fund, you are more than welcome to. If you're listening live, all you have to do is scroll down right below us in our Twitch page. There's a link to the Direct Relief PayPal. You can also, if you're listening in the after the show, you can search our twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. You can find the link there, or you can send me a link or a message on social media, and I can share that information with you. This is an incredibly important initiative. COVID-19 is not something that has just gone away. It's not over. And you may think that it's over. You may feel like it's over. You may want it to be over, but it's not over. We are still very much in the thick of things. And if you don't think that we're in the thick of things, it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. And hold on. It's not over. We're all in it together. If you feel that you can't donate, that's totally okay. All you have to do is share the donation link with your friends and family. That is worth just as much to us as any monetary value that you can contribute to the initiative. So, if you're listening live, don't forget to host us on Twitch. Tell your friends about us. If you're listening after the fact, you can follow our Twitch page. You can subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any platform media that you choose to listen to to the shows on. And welcome to everybody who's coming into the chat. Zapu, Joseph, Mr. Rockstar, Mobius, Archin. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So, Shalene, do we have any new people in the community that you want to shout out?
We do. We have a few new lovely people in our Discord, and we would love to welcome them all. We've got Conman Llama. We have Exponentius Elroy Man. Exponentius Elroy Man. Dr. Lemon 4. Crate and Barrel. Canuck Musician, and Prowler 7? I don't know.
Crate and Barrel.
With Prowler 7.
I totally missed Dr. Lemon and Crate and Barrel on the list.
That's fine.
Well done.
Had it under control.
Well done, Shalene. Well done. Also, Crate and Barrel is a fantastic store. If you're ever looking for primo salt and pepper shakers, or perhaps that wonderful set of Henkel knives, or
What's a hinkle knife?
really what
Yeah, what's a hinkle
what
knife?
is happening? What is happening?
Have I somehow blasphemed?
Anyways, head over to Crate and Barrel. We're not sponsored by them, but I think the store is fabulous. Oh man. If you'd like to join us on our Discord, or as Rick likes to call it, the chat after dark, you can scroll down right below us. The Discord link is there for you guys to join into the conversation. And the Discord is ever growing. I honestly don't even know how many people are in the Discord anymore.
Hundreds, maybe
Hundreds.
even thousands by now. It's not
It's
thousands,
crazy.
but
We're
it's
we're
tens of dozens.
tens of hundreds. Tens of hundreds of people. Formal says, "Wait, does Shalene have a Canadian goose moose?"
I do indeed. This is the moose goose, and we will learn all about the moose goose later on.
Yeah, yeah. That's why Shalene is so small in the image, because we had
Yes,
to
we had to
we
fit the
had to
moose goose
we had to
in.
fit the goose moose in. Um, well, we've got lots to talk about today. We've got a ton, or as I like to say, or we like to say in Canada, a schwack load of news. We're going to talk about our gameplay and perhaps an email or two. I'm not
No
sure.
email,
Okay, no email will be happening
unfortunately.
today on the show, but we will be talking about our news and our gameplay. And we've got a new challenge for you guys, which we are reviving.
It's been a while. It's been a minute
Yeah,
since we've had a GameStack challenge.
I'm very excited. But before we begin, this just in. Well, TwitchCon has been canceled. And that's the news, everyone. No, just kidding. Yes, this article by Nathan Grayson from Kotaku announces that TwitchCon this year has been canceled. The event was actually set to take place in San Diego, California in September, but due to the COVID-19 restrictions on large gatherings and ongoing concerns for the health and safety of the community and everyone else involved, the Twitch team and the local San Diego community has decided to call it off this year, unfortunately. So,
It's the responsible thing to do.
of course it is. Of course it is. So TwitchCon will not be happening. They haven't offered up any opinion or announcement on whether or not TwitchCon will be going into a virtual environment at this point. But the company also, Twitch, that is, the company has also canceled TwitchCon in Amsterdam for similar reasons this year. So, unfortunately, all of you people who like to attend TwitchCon, unfortunately, you will not be able to do that this year. How do you feel about that, Shalene?
Well, I don't follow TwitchCon really. My 100% of my experience with TwitchCon is hearing about it from Jess. The time that
Yeah.
she came on the show after TwitchCon, which was really fun. But I don't watch a whole ton of Twitch. I watch a couple of different channels, um, but I'm not heavily invested in like the Twitch community, and I don't really. Yeah, I don't have a horse in this race.
And you know the whole cancellation of this conference follows in the wake of the cancellation of E3,
Mm-hmm.
the PAX conferences, many other conferences that we have seen throughout.
Gamescom. I think
Uh,
they canceled Tokyo Game Show.
yes, they have canceled a lot of things, but in the wake of COVID-19, a lot of companies and entertainment expos have moved to an online platform or a virtual platform, which has been really nice because it's been able to allow individuals within the community, particularly streamers and game developers, to move their content into a virtual space to promote that throughout 2020, which has been a total trash fire, as we know. All the games, though, have announced the 2020 PC Gaming Show. And are you familiar with the PC Gaming Show, Shalene?
Well, I attended last year's,
Yeah, yeah.
which was really great. But I haven't had a chance to watch this year's just yet. I've been working all week, and I really haven't had a chance to watch it. So I'm
Right.
excited to find out what was
Hmm.
announced. I'm looking forward to watching the video. It was a really great show last year. I thought that they did a great job with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got.
Yeah, so Alex Walker from Kotaku Australia has covered this quite well. And, E3 2020 might not have happened, but they still were able to capture that in the PC Gaming Show. This year edition is all digital, thanks to COVID-19, unfortunately. But they did announce some pretty great games that are coming. Developers have announced a list of things, including Escape from Tarkov developers, Atlas within Persona 4 Royale, which was leaked thanks to Denuvo, and whose Steam page went live before the show actually began. Life is Strange makers, Don't Nod, announced Elite Dangerous, and also Planet Zoo creators announced Frontier. Tripwire Interactive, Daisy Maker, Dean Hall's New Zealand-based studio Rockworks, Funcom, Humble Games, 2K, Amazon, Sega, and much more. I'd like to go through this list very briefly, just to sort of comment on them if you are interested, Shalene. Um, I mean, we've seen with the announcement of PS5, a lot of games coming out. Um, we saw the console for the first time. Some of the games like Demon's Soul remaster we can expect to see. Hours before the PC Gaming Show, there was also the Guerrilla Collective showcase, which we saw a bunch of PC games, including the early access announcement for Baldur's Gate 3, which is a little bit exciting. System Shock Redux, which also appeared hours before the show began. Torchlight 3 also, which you can find on Steam. There was also a game that was announced, a survival game featuring procedurally generated landscapes called Valheim. You can expect to see this coming soon, as well as let me see here. What you can also expect to see some of the unusual classes like Railmaster, who summons trains, as well as steampunk robots and dust mage and sharpshooters defending bosses will give you more pets. Importantly, though, devs didn't actually confirm whether you could pet the pets, and this is in regard to Torchlight 3, which was announced as well. Elite Dangerous, you can expect to see, which was showing off the Odyssey trailer. That's not actually due until next year. Its appearance was more of a chance for the Elite devs to actually pitch more of their game to the gaming audience and explain the features of the game itself rather than anything else. As well, Greg Miller, as Shalene is so familiar with, and the Guerrilla Collective hijacked the show temporarily to announce Persona 4 Golden, which is will be priced on Steam at about $30.
Yeah, that's really interesting because that title was only available on the Vita for quite a long time on the PS Vita, and
Mm-hmm.
so now non Vita players can get their hands on that game. It's apparently quite good. So
Yeah, and we don't have any word yet on Persona 5, sadly. So keep your ears apry for that.
Persona 5 Royal is out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Great. The stunning. Yeah, I think that there's if you're interested in looking at the PC showcase, certainly check out Kotaku's article on the games that were announced at the 2020 PC Gaming Show. There's definitely a lot of stuff, certainly more than we can cover on the show, right now, but it looks like it's going to be a great lineup. And I feel like a lot of it is going to be lost at this year because of this whole
I
virtual
agree. Yeah.
environment. Um, a lot of people don't really even know that it happened.
Yeah. And it's just this deluge of information, and it hasn't been sorted through. It hasn't been curated the way that it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it hasn't been very user friendly for the consumer at all.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see that. Um, I honestly like people like people like to be able to see things as they are. But oddly enough, I realize that people like to see things happening. They like to see in person things happening in a virtual environment. That
Mm-hmm.
is to say, I like to see recordings of the live E3 show floor of things happening with people talking about games and announcements like Bethesda had done last year, which you were there in person, and we covered on GameStack podcast. And this year it's a little bit different. Like they just kind of threw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just out there, and it's like here it is, um, and that's it. So, I mean, I openly admit that I missed a lot of the stuff that came through.
Oh yeah, I have as well. I have as well. I'm
Yeah.
very far behind in terms of watching all of these videos. And they delayed the videos that were released, the live streams from the original dates they had planned them. They just kind of were happening when they were happening,
Mm-hmm.
which made it hard to plan.
Yeah.
And usually we have that solid E3 window. And even when I was staying at home, you know, before I was going to E3, I would sometimes book the day off
Mm-hmm.
to just sit home and consume the E3 news and be
Yeah.
prepared for the podcast. You
Right.
know, it's different. It's
Yeah,
different.
it's interesting. I do want to share with you, Shalene, some of the IGN Expo. Have you been covering? Have you been looking at some of
You
the
know
I?
what? I didn't even know that this was happening until after it had happened.
Okay. Let me carry you through this. Okay,
Yes,
so
I'm ready. I'm like Yoda clinging to your back. Just let's go.
right. So far we've had the first 4 days of the IGN Expo, and this has been covered through the IGN website as well. IGN's Joe Screbbles has covered this as quite extensively in his articles and blogs on the IGN website. So we recommend that you guys go check that out if you're interested. But they did announce a new game that was revealed called Metal Hellsinger. Which is kind of like the love child of Doom and Guitar Hero combined. It's a new rhythm FPS that talks about, or that asks you to blast through multiple circles of hell to increasingly intense beat of specially created metal tracks. So that
That
is kind of
sounds
cool.
pretty unique. That sounds kind of like an FPS version of what was that game? Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yes, exactly. They
Fabulous.
also announced some other new games, including Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, which was a full recreation of the Sega Master System um, platforming classic Alex
I haven't
Kidd
thought
in the
about
world
Alex
Miracle
Kidd
World
since I was like
DX.
10 years old.
Quite right. Yeah. So that allows you to play the game as it originally arrived in the 80s, which some people are very excited about. You can also expect Demon Turf, which is a 3D platformer that includes retro sprites for its characters, but a modern take on the genre with multiple conquerable realms, physics-driven combat, etc., etc. Mortal Shell, an exclusive first gameplay and beta announcement, was announced at the IGN Expo Day 1, as well as Observer System Redux, which is a next-gen gameplay reveal that came out. This is a 2017 horror game, which was re-emerging this year with some new looks,
Yeah. This is the
new
one that I rage
story.
quit on stream, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Also, we can expect Yakuza Like a Dragon. Exclusive gameplay was released at IGN Expo Day 1. Um, and they offered sort of a deeper look into the game itself. with including everything from turn-based combat to mini games to deep story-related items. Borderlands 3.
No, no, no. We don't get to just gloss over this. We don't get to gloss over that. The next line of that says, a crawfish called Nancy that you will befriend along the way.
Yes, for those of you who are Yakuza Like a Dragon's fans.
A crawfish named Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Crawfish.
befriend.
Crawfish named Nancy. Um, Borderlands 3 Bounty of Blood DLC preview was given, as well as GTFO exclusive update. You can also expect other games like Chivalry 2, which was announced as a console launch, the Waylanders early access launch date, Second Extinction exclusive first gameplay, the Pathfinder Kingmaker, which was a console launch announcement, Void Train. I mean, honestly, this list goes on. Wasteland 3 exclusive trailer came out, which may be exciting for many of you Wastelanders fans. And then it kind of delves into day 2, which talks about another set of new games. They talked about premiered new gameplay, and they showed off a bunch of sort of, as they like to call, under the radar releases. So if you missed any of that, don't forget you can check them out on IGN's website, IGN Summer of Gaming throughout June. Yeah, I mean, this list is so long.
It really is.
I'm just gonna scroll through it and sort of pick out things that from days 1 to 4 that might seem like sort of big.
On day 3, we've got Ranch Simulator, which I'm pretty excited about.
Ranch Simulator.
Yes, yes. It is a homestead building, chicken cooping, bear hunting rural life sim before it heads to early access.
That sounds exactly like something 4 Mile would like to play.
Yes, this sounds like my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely going to check out Ranch Simulator when that launches.
I feel like there's more games than we know what to do with.
Absolutely there are. Absolutely.
Like, it feels like there's more games than there were last year. Am I like
I don't know about that. There might be. We've got the next gen consoles coming out soon, so we might have a bit of an overflow. Scarlet Nexus was shown on day 4. That's the game with the murder bouquets. Looking forward to that one. That's got a really unique aesthetic. New World is the MMO from Amazon. It looks incredibly generic. I don't know. We'll see about that. Fight Crab was also part of the day 4 announcements, and Fight Crab is kind of it's a very silly game that is sort of based on, you now and again you'll see like a picture or a video of a crab holding a knife or something in his little claw, and this is kind of inspired by that. And the crabs fight each other with weapons. In the trailer that they are showing here, the crabs have lightsabers, which is just
perfect.
In my opinion, just
perfect.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Forgotten City is based on the Skyrim mod, the very popular Skyrim mod, The Forbidden City. They are creating a standalone game based on their mod, so that's really fascinating to me. Really fascinating. Yeah, that's it. That's what I've
got. I wanted to mention, so some of the things that pop out for me on day 4 is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which we have talked about previously on the show as a, I think, March exclusive, or perhaps an April or May exclusive. So we're going to see some new DLC with SpongeBob SquarePants, as well as, if you may recall, Destroy All Humans, in which you basically are an alien who has landed on Earth, and your goal is to destroy all humans, which sounds like my type of game. Absolutely perfect. So they have sort of revamped the game, so you can get a new look at Destroy All Humans. in a remake that is not just your original Alien-based Destroy 'em Up, but also covers a little bit of the previous memories that you can see in the original storyline of Destroy All Humans. Scarlet Nexus, which you guys might be familiar with, they launched an exclusive trailer and a next-gen gameplay for that as well. What else? I mean, honestly, this list is so long. They there's a ton of games, honestly, you guys, and check out IGN Expo. TwitchCon has been canceled, but IGN Expo is still covering some of those games. All the games that were announced at the PC Gaming Show, you can check those out too. But I'd like to talk a little bit about some economic implications in the gaming world. So the UK government is actually looking into whether or not loot boxes should be classified as gambling. Have you heard about this, Shalene?
No, please enlighten me. This is we've talked about the whole loot box
Right. So,
overarching controversy, but
yeah.
not this particular.
So the loot boxes, as you guys know, has been an ongoing issue across the world. Um, and it will soon be considered gambling in the UK. The UK government has called for evidence regarding loot boxes and whether or not they are considered gambling. According to the Department of Digital Cultural Media and Sport, DCMS, the government will be calling for evidence later this year, looking into the impact of loot boxes as the pandemic and the lockdown measures prompted another look at the items, which have been a source for contention among various government bodies. This article is coming to us by the wonderful Stephanie Nunnally from VG247, and she says, furthermore, DCMS has actually provided GI.biz states the evidence is calling for quote unquote provide a solution foundation for future steps and a review for gambling acts within the UK. So there looks like they're going to be cracking down on loot boxes within games. In October of last year, the UK commissioner reported that loot boxes should be classified as gambling. But the Children's Commissioner for England and Longfield called for loot boxes to be included in the gambling legislation and urged gamer makers to set daily limits to curb spending sprees. And I mean, this is nothing new that we have seen in North America. Obviously, it's an ongoing issue, whether or not loot boxes should be considered gambling. And I think, if I remember correctly, Shalene, correct me if I'm wrong, it really should only be an issue if it's pay to win.
Well, it's a nuanced issue. It can be, pay to win, of course, is a huge problem, but there's also an intrinsic problem in loot boxes in that you are paying for something that you might get. True. As opposed to something that you will get.
Yes, there's a chance. There's a chance there. Yeah.
And it's really important that odds and drop rates be disclosed to the player, and that's something that there have been issues with in the past.
Yeah. So it looks like the UK government is really cracking down on that. I hope that America follows suit and Canada as well, but we'll see what happens. Honestly, my personal opinion is that children have access to this, and they don't quite understand what they're really getting into in terms of loot boxes, and it because there is a chance, it is gambling. That's really what it is, and if you're investing money in that, then it really should be considered as gambling. But
yeah, the children argument is an important argument. I personally am not super worried about the children. I just want to be able to pay for the thing that I want. I don't want to pay for 10 chances to maybe get the thing I want. I just want to be able to pay for the thing I want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how to segue into this. In terms of, speaking of boxes, Sony has announced a new box, if you will. It is called the PlayStation 5. It was announced this past week or week before, I think. Week before?
I'm not sure. I think it might have been last week.
I think it was
I don't even
last
remember
week.
now. It was on the
Um
11th.
so
That was last week.
Sony announced their new PlayStation 5 in which the I don't I
What do you think of it? What do you think of the design?
You know what? I don't care about the design. It's about what's inside that counts.
I care about the design. I think it looks really cool. I also think those grooves at the top are going to just fill with dust and they're going to be difficult to get really, really clean. And I'm going to feel really just OCD about trying to get the dust out of the groove. And it's also enormous. This thing is huge. It's like almost as big as a PC tower.
Honestly, probably not going to buy it. It's freaking massive. And why is it that the digital console is as big as the disc console? Like,
Well, it's not. It's just it's missing the disk drive, so it has that smooth
it's slimmer, but it's just as
taper.
tall. It
Yeah, it is just as
I will
tall.
still not be able to fit it on my shelf.
Yeah,
The thing is massive. They have this top down like I
it does look cool though.
it looks like my router.
It does look a bit like a router. Yeah.
Anyways, Sony announced the PS5 Thursday afternoon last week. And they said that it will be available in disc-based and digital format when it launches this year. There was no price that was listed for either version of the hardware, but you can expect to see something, I would say, probably around the Christmas era.
What is your prediction for the cost of the PS5?
$500.
I think that you're very optimistic. I think it's going to at least be six.
Yeah.
At least six.
I mean, in Canada, it will be 5,000.
Yeah.
So nobody in Canada will buy it.
I think it'll be probably a $50 difference between the discless and the disc version and the all digital version.
Really?
I do, yeah, but I'm not sure if it's going to be 550 and 600 or if it's going to be 600 and 650. That's my prediction.
What I'm more interested to know is how many people will buy the digital console over the disc console.
I think I'll buy the disc version just because
Well,
why would I
of course
not? You know, it's
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you would buy the disc console.
I want I'd rather have all the available features, the option to use a disc and still use the internal memory. I'd rather have both.
Right. But like we saw some of the graphics that came out of the engine, the Unreal Engine 5, which we can expect to see on the PS5, which looks really good. And PlayStation actually launched, following the announcement of their PS5, they launched the Last of Us podcast series, which I think is really cool.
We're not going to talk about the games from the PS5 reveal?
I mean, we can if you want.
Do you mind?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, in my opinion, this was some of the biggest game announcements of this whole not E3 time period. Demon Souls will be getting a remake, a full remake. That is a big deal for Souls-like fans, of which I'm not one, but congratulations, I'm happy for you. Resident Evil 8 will be a first-person game. It looks quite a bit like Resident Evil 7, and it looks pretty cool. I think it's going to be very spooky. I think Rick and I are really going to enjoy being afraid of this game. Spider-Man Miles Morales looks really good. I know there are a lot of Miles Morales fans out there, and it's going to be really great to have a Spider-Man game featuring him. Horizon Forbidden West. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn, of course, was a huge game, very well loved, critically acclaimed, loved by fans. I loved it. I haven't finished it. I need to go back and replay that and finish it. And Horizon Forbidden West is the sequel, which will take Aloy to the west coast of the United States, and it looks really good. It kind of one of the key arts sort of reminded me of like Horizon New Vegas, because it was this deserty area, you know. It's just I think it's going to be really good. We've got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, so Ratchet and Clank fans can look forward to that. Gran Turismo 7, Returnal is the new Housemarque game. So it's a third-person shooter, which is very different from Housemarque's previous titles, and also a very stupid name. But I do have a lot of faith in Housemarque to make quality video games. So I will check out Returnal. Hitman 3, Grand Theft Auto 5 will span a third generation of consoles and come to the PlayStation 5. Because why make another one when you can just continue to sell this one for eternity? Ghostwire Tokyo was shown. We'll talk more about that later. Bug Snacks looks adorable. And let's see. Let me skip over some of these. Deathloop, of course, from Arcane. And yeah, thank you for giving me the chance to just roll through some of those, because I found those much more exciting than many of the other game releases.
So what do you want to see the most?
I don't know. Horizon probably is going to be pretty fantastic. I'm also looking forward to Resident Evil. I love doing those spooky streams.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I am very excited about Deathloop. I think Deathloop looks like it might be something very special. Arcane does very unique things with gameplay. They do things that other teams don't think of. And I'm very much looking forward to checking out Deathloop.
I'm super excited about Ghostwire Tokyo. I renege on that comment. I was originally super excited about Ghostwire Tokyo.
So why are you less excited?
So last year's E3 announcement for Ghostwire Tokyo looked totally awesome, but this year it's a glorified Dragon Ball Z trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new trailer yet. Oh no.
The new trailer is like, bam, it's Dragon Ball Z. It's going to be great. Yeah, okay. Awesome. So I don't know.
So I'm not super familiar with Dragon Ball Z. What makes Ghostwire look like Dragon Ball Z?
The power to have a super spectral ball shoot out of your palms into a pack of ghosts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, great. It's awesome. It's everything I ever wanted in a video game. So less enthused about Ghostwire Tokyo now. So not sure how I feel about that. Probably won't buy it at launch, can tell you that much. But I'm glad that they're still working on it. The original trailer looked really good, so I hope that it's equally as good. People who are really, really, really big fans of Japanese culture will probably purchase it. I definitely can see that being appealing to that audience, but I'm not particularly sure about the game physics and the overall storyline. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So, I think the PS5 has some pretty promising, has a promising future. In particular, I'm not sure how it will fare. New consoles in the next decade, I think, are going to be sort of an interesting thing. Given that we're going into this whole virtual streaming age, virtual consoles, virtual PCs, things like that. I'm actually even surprised that Sony announced a PS5.
Really? Why?
Well, I wasn't sure that they were going to announce a PS5 this year. I didn't think that would happen. I honestly didn't think that would happen. But they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, Xbox, blah, 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 blah. Which, Xbox is the G-Class. Sony is the Mercedes. Sort of, yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm a PlayStation console gamer originally. I've had a PS2, I've had a PS3, I've had a PS4. I am not likely to purchase a PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Not
You're mostly
gonna
on
happen.
PC now, right?
Yeah. And it's the
Yeah.
versatility of it, right? I wonder how difficult it will be for streamers to be able to stream PlayStation 5 on their PCs. There's that DHCP issue that we always have with capture cards. It's a huge problem with Sony. Way easier to stream Xbox consoles. So I'm not sure what's really going to happen. But people are going to spend money on it anyways because it's a new console and that's what it
I will
is.
probably buy a PS5. I don't know if I'll buy one at launch, but I think I'm more likely to buy a PS5 than I am the next gen Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Xbox doesn't really have exclusive games. All of their exclusive games are also going to be available on PC.
Yeah.
So I can play everything on PC and then, just have the PS5 for exclusives.
Yeah. 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 So,
Speaking of PlayStation exclusives,
The Last of Us has announced a podcast.
I'm really excited. Today, we're recording this on the launch day of Last of Us Part 2. I just was opening mine before we started recording the podcast. I got the Steelbook edition, so here's my lovely Steelbook.
Looks
If you're
great.
interested in that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It came with a little art book as well. Very nice. So, looking forward to checking out Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, the new podcast series that's PlayStation has announced includes an 8-part series that's hosted by the writer and stand-up comedian Christian Spicer, and will explore the development of both The Last of Us and its Part 2 sequel. So the first episode of the podcast is available now, and the shows will be released weekly on Tuesdays. Episode 1 features interviews with Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann and Anthony Newman, who actually discuss the first few hours of the original game. They also talk about future episodes that will include chats with Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, and other game developers and composers, such as Gustavo Santaolalla. Santaolalla?
I don't have that pulled up right now.
I apologize
but
for the
he is fantastic.
pronunciation.
I listen to the soundtrack from the original Last of Us pretty regularly when I'm at work.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in checking out the Last of Us podcast, don't forget you can find that on the official Last of Us podcast. They're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Breaker, RSS feeds as well.
I would say Santalaya.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The 2 L's makes a yah sound.
Remember Chernobyl, Shalene? Remember how Chernobyl was a thing and we had
Yeah.
HBO. So Chernobyl director will join up with Last of Us to create a fantastic new miniseries that looks at let me see now. I haven't actually vetted for this article yet.
So the director of Chernobyl, Johan Renck. I don't know how to pronounce that.
So we have
he will be doing the pilot for the Last of Us TV show.
Yes, for the HBO roster. So be sure to check that out. That will be available coming up soon. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the HBO series Chernobyl, it's absolutely fantastic. It's so funny that this came up because I was just talking about Chernobyl with my partner the other day and how I want to rewatch the series and how good it was. So I'm really excited to see Chernobyl writer producer Craig Mazin and Naughty Dog director Neil Druckmann work together on the pilot for The Last of Us. I think that'll be really good. Yeah. What else is coming out of Sony? They also have So Deathloop, there's a Deathloop and Ghostwire PSO console exclusive, which will be also launching on PC. So if you guys are excited for that, Sony revealed a proper look at some of the upcoming titles for Deathloop and Ghostwire
I'm really
Tokyo.
surprised to see these Bethesda published games as timed PS5 exclusives. They've had a much closer relationship with Xbox in the past, so I find this very interesting. I don't know if PlayStation just threw tons of money at Bethesda to make this happen, or if they've just managed to repair their very strained relationship.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. We know that both of the games have been previously announced. Um, so, I mean, we'll see what they sort of come up with. If you want to take a look at some of the hardware that's running these games in the PS5, you can surely check out the Ghostwire Tokyo gameplay reveal trailer as well as the Deathloop reveal trailer as well. But yeah, looks like the PS5 is coming out strong this year. I don't know. What do you think is going to be more successful, the PS5 or the Xbox?
I don't know. I feel like PlayStation 4, of course, murdered Xbox this generation, just slaughtered them in terms of sales. But I don't know. I really felt like Xbox was a stronger machine.
Yeah.
I do feel like we have a pattern of the two companies switching back and forth in terms of which one is the industry leader every generation. I feel like Xbox 360 dominated its generation, and PS2 had dominated the previous generation, and of course this generation the PS4 was the stronger contender. So maybe this year we'll see Xbox rise to the top again. I honestly don't know. I do feel like I don't know. I feel like the design is so bold for the PS5. I like it, but it's so bold that I'm not sure it's going to resonate with consumers.
Yeah.
People like a simple black box to put in their entertainment center. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. I
Yeah.
I feel
I
like we do see one company growing overconfident, and the other company being hungry for that win. And
I hate
coming
that there's
out.
I hate that there's competition between the two. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so over capitalism. Definitely over that. And I think that the PS5 console, the white flanks on the otherwise flashy black box that they put it in, is going to tarnish over time.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. It looks like the PS5 is wearing an incredible designer jacket. Is what I think. Like an incredible designer jacket. And I don't know. We'll see. The market will tell. I happen to rather enjoy capitalism and watching it happen. So we will see. We will see what the market
mm-hmm.
decides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that a good proportion of consumers will be covering that white portion with stickers and vinyl things and all
Oh, I
kinds of
hate
stuff.
stickers on consoles. I hate
Um,
it.
I anticipate the first thought that came to my mind was how many different exclusive consoles are they going to come out with that are just PS5 consoles with a fancy vinyl sticker that is specific to the game
Mm-hmm.
that is coming out, you know?
Right.
Um,
Right.
so I really feel like that's going to be a big thing. I can see it now that you can order skins for your console on
That was the
Amazon.
big thing for the 360.
Oh yeah,
A lot of people had
huge,
those skins
right?
for the 360.
Because the 360 was white. I mean, it was kind of white. It was
It was
it was
white until the
gray.
Elite came up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
the Pro, was it called the Pro or the Elite? I don't remember, but the more powerful version was black.
Yeah. 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 So
Speaking of Xboxes,
Speaking of Xbox, Microsoft has stated that a planned Xbox Series X online event will be taking place in July despite reports suggesting that it had been postponed until August. So you guys can actually expect to see an online event next month. Don't worry, Xbox will be there.
Do you think they're going to reveal a price, or are they also going to stay mum? Because I feel like whoever announces their price first, the other company is just going to try and undercut them.
Honestly, I don't care.
I think it's fascinating to watch. I feel like they're staring at each other across the bar, just waiting for somebody to make a move while the good, the bad, and the ugly music plays in the background. Just
It's honestly a who shoots first scenario, and I don't know. I just I have no comment. I have no comment, Shalene. I'm excited to see what's coming out of the Xbox event. Yeah. I'm hoping that they talk about some of the games that I'm anticipating to come out this year that probably will be delayed because of COVID-19.
Everything's going to be delayed.
So
I find the market fascinating. I find the industry fascinating, and
I
love watching these trends.
I feel like all of the games that were announced that have 2020 in the name.
Yeah, we can just slide a 1 in there. 2021.
Switch it out. Just switch it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not going to happen. I feel like it's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. Good job, Microsoft, but we'll see about that. Yeah. But while Microsoft and Sony continue to battle it out, Nintendo confirmed another 140,000 accounts were possibly breached in the month of April. And as a Nintendo consumer, Shalene, I imagine that you are a little bit concerned about this.
Well, I'm pretty sure I was part of the original breach because I kept getting emails that my account had been accessed from someplace where I'm not, someplace where I haven't been. So I had to change my Nintendo password like 4 times in as many days before I finally landed on something that wasn't getting hacked. It was I don't know. It's concerning, of course, anytime that something is hacked, but I don't think that they were able to do any unauthorized purchasing or anything. I don't think I even have my credit card information saved in there, so
right.
It was not really an issue.
Well, earlier this year, you guys may already know that Nintendo announced that approximately 160,000 Nintendo accounts were breached in a hack, and on June 9th, they also announced that an additional 140,000 accounts may have also been compromised, which means that roughly around 300,000 accounts may have been breached. And they pointed this out in an update to Nintendo Network ID users, but they also said that they will continue to take adamant actions in NNID user security for users and being reimbursed and things like that. So I think
NNID is Nintendo Network ID.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not a Nintendo. I'm not a Switch user, so I don't really have any comment on this article. But Brian Ashcraft writes this out of Kotaku and says, that Nintendo has contacted those accounts who were accessed and reimbursed any unauthorized purchases that may have been a result of the hack of those accounts. So that's good, I guess. But I'm glad that you weren't affected, Shalene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked your Nintendo account in these many months, you may want to do that. Because you may have been one of those users that have been compromised. Yeah. Shalene, you love Animal Crossing, right?
I do. I wish I was playing it right now. I love Animal Crossing. I'm addicted.
So today, the KFC Philippines has created a virtual location in Animal Crossing New Horizons, complete with little buckets of chicken
Oh, this is adorable.
and
It's
Colonel
so cute.
Sanders himself. Look at him with his little hat and his little buckets and the French fries and things.
String tie. Oh my goodness. The menu is on the wall. There's a blender, little buckets of chicken.
Yeah, they
Oh
got a
my
rice
goodness.
maker.
Oh,
Looks
this
great.
is precious.
Yeah. So for those of you who love Animal Crossing, you may be able to capture or be able to experience Kentucky Fried Chicken in New Horizons, which I think is absolutely brilliant by KFC. Brilliant, brilliant.
Big KFC logo made out of red lilies and island in the middle of the.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get it?
Oh, of course not. But it's darn cute.
Do you have to pay for it?
No, but like you would have to go visit them or something, I guess,
Oh,
or
I don't.
download their designs. I don't care enough to download their designs into my own
Really?
game in my meet. No,
Huh.
no. I I I'm not. I'm not one of those people who's like doing a good job at Animal Crossing. I love Animal Crossing. I'm investing a lot of time there, but my island is a mess, y'all. It's a disaster. I have like a single chair in my living room in my house. It looks like a baseball catcher's mitt. I just thought it was a cool chair. It's like the only thing in my living room. I have some random pieces of fruit furniture in the side room just because I like furniture that looks like fruits. It's just my whole island is a mess. There are trees and just it's a mess, guys. I love the game. I'm not doing a good job.
Well, if you're interested in getting some fried chicken, oh my god, I want fried chicken. It has been, I think January was the last time I had takeout.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. We don't talk about it. Um, CD Projekt Red has announced that Cyberpunk 2077 will be delayed again until November 19th this time. The game was originally set to release in September, but on Twitter, CD Projekt Red apologized for the delay and explained the situation that led to Cyber 2077's release date being pushed back. And I just want to quickly read because I know that so many of you are so excited to see this game coming out, including Rick. They said, we have decided to move the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 from September 17th to November 19th. Those of you who are familiar with the way we make games know that we won't ship something which is not ready. Quote unquote, ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by, even when we know we'll take the heat for it. At the same time, we're fully aware that making such a decision costs us your trust, and trading trust for additional time is one of our hardest decisions a game developer can make. And despite we think it's a right decision for the game, we'd still like to apologize for making you wait longer. Our intention is to make Cyberpunk 2077 something that will stay with you for years to come. In the end, we hope you understand why we did what we did. And then they go on to talk about how specific quests and cutscenes and skills and items still need to be worked on, and that there's an abundance of systems that they really need to balance in terms of game mechanics and bugs within the world themselves. So, and in my personal opinion, I think that a good game could be a delayed game. I think it's better to delay a game than to release a game early and have it garbage.
I agree. Absolutely
Looking at
agree.
you, Bethesda. Um, so, so and like I think I've said this before on the show that I'm totally okay with waiting for games to come out. I'm definitely gonna buy Cyberpunk. I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm.
How do you feel about it, Shalene?
I think it it looks really interesting. I think it looks like something that's going to be great to play. But I also think it's going to be something. It's going to be one of those games that just destroys your life when you get into it. You know, it's going to be one that just sucks you in, and you don't get to see your family for a month.
Well, yeah, it's funny that you should
Yeah,
say this because a recent article out of VG247 talks about how there will be over 1,000 Cyberpunk 2077 NPCs with hand-built daily routines.
unique routines for each of them.
Yes.
Fascinating.
So, I mean, if you thought that you were busy now,
And I'm gonna have to follow each of these NPCs around and see what they're doing. Go through their medicine cabinet in their house and just it's wow.
so basically what this means is that over 1,000 Cyberpunk 2077 NPCs will have a list of tasks that they need you to do on certain days. Um, so, I mean, you're going to be busy. You're all going to be very, very busy, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to complete this 100%. I'd like to see you try. Which is great. I think that, it's how many times have we like played games over and over and over? We're moving into a new era of video games where there's just too much to do.
Right.
There's just too much to do, and it's okay that you can't finish all of it, but the completionist in all of us makes it really difficult to let that go. And I think
Yes, indeed.
Cyberpunk is going to be sort of a segue into that new era of video games. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great game.
I think so too. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I don't mind the delay though. I really, it's not as if we have a shortage of things to play right now. We have a whole stack of
Mm-hmm.
games, each of us.
We have a whole stack of games, and you can also add some new games to your stack from the Electronic Arts or EA 2020 announcement, the EA Play Live 2020 announcement. This article comes to us from Chris Colher from Kotaku. And he talks about how there is a bunch of games coming out of EA Play Live 2020, including Skate, which is coming back eventually, and also Apex Legends is going to be coming to Switch and Steam this fall with crossplay. So for those of you who are excited for to play Apex Legends with some of your friends who have otherwise been not been able to, you will soon be able to do that as well. We learned a little bit more about Star Wars Squadrons and saw some of the gameplay. So if you guys are big Star Wars fans, there is a single-player story mode that lets you play as a few different pilots in different scenarios, flying for both the Empire and the New Republic in a story that was just after the Return of the Jedi. And you can also expect a third game from Hazelight, or A Way Out, is called.
Hazelight was the developer of A Way
Yeah,
Out.
yeah. Hazelight is right. And so that game looks really good coming out. Lost in Random, they also released the official teaser trailer for that as well. And
I
that's
played that was from Zoink Games. I played their
yes.
previous title, Fee, and I loved that. It was a very precious little game. So I'm definitely going to check out Lost in Random.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There's a bunch of games coming out to the Switch as usual, as we expect. This is nothing that we've seen that's new before, but if you're interested in checking out the EA Play Live, don't forget to check out their website. Lots of new things coming. I'm wondering if TwitchCon is going to do something virtual. It's weird that they haven't announced anything, or even E3. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is sort of disbanded.
I just hope that this isn't what we go with in the future. You know what I mean? I hope that E3 comes back.
And you know what the thing is, Shalene? And I'm thinking like somebody who's planned conferences in the past. It costs less money to do it virtually.
Lots less money. that's something that I thought of, and all of these teams are going to be seeing that.
Like
I don't know.
conferences, like on average for maybe 500 people, you're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 easy,
Mm-hmm.
just for 500 people. Now E3 hosts what, 50,000 people or
It's a
more?
bunch. I don't even remember, but
Yeah,
it's lots.
lots of money. So
I did want to mention a couple more things from EA Play. There was they did a little sort of an engine teaser for some of the things that BioWare, Dice, and EA Motive are working on, and there were a couple of still shots that appear to be from Dragon Age universe. So I will be analyzing these frame by frame later after the show, and I'll report back. But I was desperately awaiting some news on the new Dragon Age, and this is better than nothing. Also, I was not super interested in Star Wars Squadrons right away because spaceflight is not necessarily my thing. Um, but I have recently found out that this features a character from Star Wars Rebels, Hera Syndulla, who's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. So I'll probably check the game out just to see the continuation of her story. And that's that. Sorry to kind of derail us there.
no, that's okay. That is our long-winded news segment, you guys. I appreciate your patience and interest in hanging out with us, but there's more coming. GameStock. Shalene, why don't you tell us about the stock market in the video game industry in the last 2 weeks?
Well, the stock market has had its ups and downs. Sony today closed at $70.98. This is all in US dollars, by the way. That's down 57 cents from the last time that we recorded a show. Microsoft is sitting at $195.15, down $1.17. Nintendo is at $58.59, up 5 cents. Take Two has gone up $1.36 and is sitting at $142.61. Activision closed at $76.58, up 57 cents. Ubisoft is up 50 cents at $68.98. EA is at $130.19, up 84 cents. And Tencent is at $58.95, down just over a quarter. I'm very interested in seeing what all of these announcements will do. I feel like this may be a completely different landscape next time that we report on GameStop.
Well, I mean, the last time we talked about GameStop, everything was doing so good.
Yes,
But the time before that, everything had tanked. So the market is very volatile.
We may have hit a bit of a plateau.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, as an investor myself, it's such an uncertain time. And I mean, my only advice for people is to hold long. Don't sell stuff out of fear, because that's how crashes happen. And we don't want that, right? So,
right.
Yeah. Anyways, why don't we talk about what we're playing? So, I've been playing X-Plane 11, which, as you know, is a flight sim. I have finally sort of, I guess more or less, think I've got the hang of landing the Boeing 737-800, or the MAX 8. I did a flight from Palm Springs, California to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, really? How was landing at the Sunport?
Well, okay, so
I'll pick you up at the Sunport, okay?
I've flown into Palm Springs before, IRL, which is pretty fun, I would say. Flying into Palm Springs is no joke. So they have, Palm Springs doesn't have what you call an ILS approach, which is an instrument landing system. So there's no radio frequency that the plane can tune into to actually localize on the runway to sort of have the instruments within the plane to just sort of guide the plane into the runway
So
in
you've got to do it
in
more
autopilot.
manually.
So you've got to do it on a visual approach, manually, which is like a lot more difficult. I have not been able to land in Palm Springs successfully until my last flight, which was really great. I landed in Palm Springs, and then I took off from Palm Springs into Albuquerque, New Mexico, which was awesome, except the scenery in X-Plane 11 for Albuquerque is terrible. It was
Oh
like
no!
it was like this little tiny box on the side of the runway. You know, you just land in the runway and then you like exit, and then it was like this little like office building that was just off to the side, and it was nothing. And I'm like, what is this? Is this even an airport? I don't know.
Albuquerque's airport is beautiful. It's a
Yeah.
lovely airport.
So this is one of the major drawbacks of X-Plane 11 is that the game was developed, or the flight sim, as I should say. A lot of people get mad when I call it a game. Was developed in 2011.
Right.
And so a lot of the content that has come out between then and now has been scenery packages for airports, airplanes, global meshes
Right.
for mountain ranges, things like that. And I didn't actually have the scenery pack for Albuquerque, so it was just a series of boxes.
That's so sad. That wounds me.
It was still really cool to land in New Mexico, though. Yeah,
Yes,
it was
you
still
should have.
really cool.
You should have called me. I would have picked you up. Could have taken you out for some enchiladas.
I also did a flight from Toronto to Halifax, which was so cool. That was on Sunday, my Sim Sunday stream, as part of my schedule. We flew from Toronto. We landed in Halifax, which was super cool. I've done that flight in real life. It's very cool. And then we followed up with a second flight, and we went from Halifax to St. John's, Newfoundland, which was really cool. You fly over the sea. It's very pretty. Yeah, so I'm really excited to continue on with my flights. I'm really just trying to learn how to fly in anticipation for Flight Sim 2020, which is like, I don't even know how to express it. Beautiful. Real life. It looks like real life. To be able to, I can fly in FS 2020, and I'm not on the alpha. I'm not breaking an NDA here, but I'm just saying, based on the videos that I've watched from the FS 2020 website, Shalene, I could fly over your house and look at the flowers that you have planted in your garden. That is how detailed it is. And they use this procedural generation for detail and things like that in the world. And I think it's going to be really amazing to be able to just fly around the world, fly in New Zealand, fly in Asia, just look at the Mayan ruins. Like, I'm so excited for that. It's going to be really good. I also played a little bit of Satisfactory with Jess Zapu and Dang Dog, if you are not familiar with. But Satisfactory is really cool. It's like, so you're in this pod, right? You're out in space. And you land on this planet, and the whole premise of your culture, your species, everything is to develop and be efficient in terms of building a factory. And so you build this factory, you gotta like mine lead, copper, and like different types of minerals, and you gotta explore the planet, and you have all these conveyor belts, and like you're making screws, and you're making iron plates, and you gotta make all this stuff to be able to make these other things, and it's just this I don't know. It's kind of like a survival game, but you don't have to worry about surviving, I guess, so to speak. You do a little bit, actually. There's aliens and stuff that will attack you, different creatures that will attack you on the planet that you're on. You got to eat some berries to keep yourself alive. But, basically you can build this massive factory, and the whole point of the game is to be more efficient with what you're building. So I was able to play with Zapu and Jess and Dang Dog, and we basically consumed our entire Saturday last weekend playing Satisfactory, and it was so much fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to just sort of build it together and create something together, and just sort of have that thing and work on it together and connect all the things. And so yeah, it was cool to hang out with them. um Sea of Thieves, as you know, has come out with some new content. Sea of Thieves is near and dear to my heart. I've been playing a lot of it. I'm Pirate Legend now, blah, 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 blah. But they've come out with some new content. Haunted Shores, which is absolutely incredible. In my opinion, probably the best update that has come to the game so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me
So,
about it. I'm
okay,
excited.
okay, okay. So imagine yourself setting off from a port,
Okay.
um, going to Duke in the bar and buying a voyage that allows you to attack ghost ships on the sea.
Ghost ships.
Ghost
Now,
ships!
we're not talking about skelly ships. We're talking about like glowing.
Yes, spectral formations of galleons on the water that you can just go and attack. And I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, it sounds like
I
fun.
don't want
I'm
to spoil it for.
excited.
I'm gonna leave things out because I don't want to spoil it for you because it's really good. It's probably the best update that they've come up with. They still haven't fixed a lot of things, like
Really? Like what?
um um the whole audio glitch with water.
Oh, I hate that glitch.
Haven't fixed that yet. Still friggin' broken. Um, they've kind of fixed the rowboat a little bit in terms of accessing the little compartment in the
Yeah, those are
rowboat.
on different buttons now.
Yeah, yeah, they fixed that a little bit. But I don't know how to comment about the ghost ships. Like, it's so good. I'm so excited. 4 Mile and I are gonna play after the show. I'm super excited. I've been playing it this week with a bunch of other people. The content update is really great. If you guys haven't played it, check it out.
Fabulous.
It's really great. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it. I've also picked up SnowRunner, which is a trending game right now on Steam and Twitch. Basically, you try to haul stuff in thick snow, or
Like, is it like Ice Road
mud.
Truckers or?
A little bit different. You're trudging through thick snow and mud.
Oh, you're walking.
No, no, no. You're driving.
Okay.
You're driving, but there's different trucks that you can get and things like that, and you have to move your way about the map and think about things strategically and choose the roads that you want to go on. I just started this like a day ago. It looks really good. I'm excited to keep playing it, but I don't have much to report on that. Hopefully, I will on the next show. But yeah, that's pretty much my gameplay.
Lovely. That sounds like you've been having a lot of fun, Bender.
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah, it's been
glad.
good.
Yeah, fantastic. I have played a whole lot of Don't Starve Together. I've invested lots of time into Don't Starve Together with Archin. And I think I talked a little bit about this last time. We were working to try and survive the winter. I play as a character named Wendy, who is a spooky little girl who is haunted by her dead twin, who is a ghost. And Abigail, the ghostly twin, can help Wendy in battle, which is really nice. That's one of the primary reasons that I like to play as Wendy. And Archin's been playing as Wilson, the default, the first Don't Starve character. So we were trying to survive winter. We had a really good setup. We thought we were gonna make it, and we were attacked by a creature called the Deerclops, who is a massive, abominable snow deer of some kind with one eye, and it's terrifying. It destroyed our camp. We died almost instantly. It was really bad. So the next time that we set up, we decided to plan to survive the Deerclops. And we did really well. We had this base set up. We had crock pots, we had drying racks, we had refrigerators, farms. It was fantastic. Archin shaved some beefaloes to make us hats, and we killed some koalefants for vests and meat, so we were very stocked up for winter. We had a captive koalefant providing us manure for the farms. um, I had this whole entourage following me around. Abigail, the ghostly twin sister, Chester, who of course is a little chest that follows you around. He's adorable. Have you played much Don't Starve, Thunder?
I have not played a
You've not
single
played it?
second
Okay.
of Don't Starve.
You gotta
So,
play this with me
yeah,
someday. It's a wonderful game. I'm not big on survival games, but I love Don't Starve.
great.
Um, and of course the Glommer is a little flying bug like creature that you can get on the full moon. And so I had this whole little pack of followers that I was really proud of. And we were going to make gunpowder to attack the Deerclops with, to defeat the Deerclops, and just victory. We were going to reign triumphant over the Deerclops. We needed rotten eggs, so of course there are lots of penguins in the winter, and I was trying to get these penguin eggs. So I would walk Abigail over there and get her to fight the penguins. Um, and we survived winter. We survived the Deerclops. We were not able to make our gunpowder in time because those stupid eggs would not spoil. Um, but we survived the Deerclops by building an alternate base at another location through a wormhole. So we would travel between the two bases, and as the Deerclops would chase us, when it would start to get near one base, we would just run and jump in the wormhole and bug out to our other base.
That's
and
great.
we managed to survive it.
That's great.
I was so proud. I was so excited about it. But then we died in like the second day of spring. We died horribly. I think we froze to death in the rain. Like it was ludicrous.
Sounds like every
this.
Canadian
Yes,
experience. Yeah, yeah.
all these horrible things. We had survived through the winter. We were like, yes, we have made it to spring. No spring for us. We died. It was awful. I'm pretty sure I froze to death at least. I remember that I was adding wood to the fire as I died. It didn't click quite fast enough.
Yes, there are three things in a Canadian spring: death, potholes, and car parts.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That sounds horrible, Vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So we started over, and there's a new character that was released this week named Walter. So I wanted to play as Walter, and Archon played as the robot character. And Walter has got a dog named Wobie. Walter and Wobie are adorable. They are so precious. Walter is a little Boy Scout. He has a little Boy Scout uniform and a little Boy Scout hat, and he's very cute. He has a little slingshot that's very fun to use, but it is not very easy to use, and it kind of got me killed a couple of times. I just things would run up on me before I could get a shot off. It was terrible. Wobie the dog, you can pet him, which is really adorable. He'll roll over on his back and just Wobie loves you. And he is basically a mobile chest, the same way that Chester is. He's wearing a little backpack, and you can store stuff in Wobie, which is really, really handy for a hoarder like me. Um, and during this run, Archon had died, and he was a ghost, and I was trying to bring him back. I went to get some spider glands to make a telltale heart.
What?
And,
Wait a minute. What?
you can revive another. Okay, so when you die and Don't Starve Together, you become a ghost.
Okay.
And your ghost is always very cute. Abigail's ghost is, Wendy's ghost has a little bow in her hair that shows that she's Wendy. Archon was playing as that robot character, and his little ghost looked like R2D2. Fender, his little ghost looked like R2D2. It was so cute. Hi Rick, hello to Rick in the chat. So he was a ghost, and I can use 40 points of my own health, some grass, and a spider gland to create a thing called a telltale heart. And I can use this heart to revive Archon by just like using it with his ghost. So I had 50 or 60 points of health, which was plenty. And I went to get the spider gland. We got a couple spider glands. I was ready to go home. But Archon's like, no, while you're here, you need to fight these spiders and whatever. And he's like coaching me through what he wants me to do. like fighting this spider den, and there was jumping spiders pouring out of there. It was going really badly, and I got really mad. And I was like, "No, I'm going home. This is why you die." And he's like, "No, this is why we live." He's doing these resource gathering things, but to me, it was reckless and ridiculous. And I huffed off back to our base, and when I got there, I had like 6 health, so I couldn't even make the top hill hard anymore.
Right.
I was so annoyed. So that we didn't live super long as those characters. It didn't go very well. And we started again as our more familiar characters, Wilson and Wendy. And it's going really well, this current run. This is probably, we're going to pick this up after the show, I believe. I got a tentacle spike, which is one of the stronger weapons that you can get. You get this by fighting swamp tentacles, and these tentacles are tough, right? In the swamp, the tentacle just rises up and tries to kill you. And I managed to kite one and have Abigail fight it, and then I would give Abigail a break and then send her back to fight the tentacle. I got the tentacle spike, so I'm really happy. We kept finding stuff. I found a mining hat with a light on it. Archon found a one-man band, which is really funny. He wears and it's got a drum and all kinds of stuff. It's quite funny. And a vest, a nice houndstooth stylish vest. We just kept finding things. So I feel like we're very well equipped. We have refrigerators and crock pots, and we might be able to survive the winter this time. I feel like it's going to go pretty well. So that's Don't Starve Together. Animal
Sounds
Crossing,
good.
Always playing Animal Crossing.
Of course.
It's shark season, so I've been staying up late fishing for sharks in Animal Crossing. And there's something really ludicrous about my adorable little Animal Crossing character catching a shark with her fishing pole and just holding this massive shark that's bigger than she is, just stretching across the screen. It's hilarious. But I enjoy catching the sharks, so that's what I've been doing in Animal Crossing. And I also checked out a game called The Waylanders. The Waylanders entered early access earlier this week. I had it a few days ahead of time. And this is it's a Dragon Age inspired RPG. You can definitely see some bones, some bone structure that looks pretty similar to Dragon Age Origins. The Waylanders is written by some of the same people who wrote Telltale's The Walking Dead and also who wrote Fallout New Vegas. I do want you guys to note that this game is very early access. Like, take that seriously. It is full of problems. There are missing cutscenes. There's borked dialogue. There's problems. This is a preview. This is not a completed game. It has cartoony graphics, but they are very beautiful cartoony graphics. I really enjoy them. It's based in Celtic history and mythology, which is very fun. That's not something that you usually see. The voice acting is very, very good, but it does bug me a little that fantasy games always default for British accents. It's always British accents in fantasy games.
Is that a bad thing?
Personally, it annoys me. I wish they would expand. I wish that it's a Celtic game.
What would you like?
Let's see some Irish accents in a game that's based on Celtic history and mythology. I mean,
yep. You're not wrong.
Makes sense to me.
You're not wrong.
I love the characters so far. I really, really enjoy the characters, the companions, and I enjoy interacting with them. The conversation, the dialogue is really, really good. You can tell that a lot of thought has been put into this world and the backstory, the politics between the different races and nations. From the very beginning of the game, you can tell that your decisions will shape who your character is and how they are treated by other characters in the world, which is something that I'm very pleased with. You have many options in terms of how you want to build your character. You can be diplomatic, you can be a rogue, you can be a warrior, you can be a mage. There are all different types of routes.
Okay. Why are their hips so wide?
That's not something I'd really noticed.
They have really wide hips. The hips are really wide. I mean, not okay with that.
I really hadn't noticed their wide hips. I feel like they have proportionate hips.
Okay, we'll just gloss over that. It's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Um,
I'm a little bit surprised that you played this.
this game is called the Waylanders. The character creator is a bit limited. I hope this is not the final form of the character creator. I hope that they continue to refine it. Autosave will absolutely screw you over. Do not rely on autosave. I learned that the hard way. And this is absolutely a game for Dragon Age Origins fans, I believe. I found it very challenging in terms of the gameplay. I was just playing on the default difficulty setting, and I've played many an RPG in my day. So I think this is something that CRPG fans are going to enjoy. And yeah, the Waylanders, I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses through the development, and I will definitely be revisiting it as the game leaves early access. So why are you surprised that I played it?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a game that you would play.
Do you have any idea how many hours of my life I have invested into Dragon Age?
Clearly not.
It's lots and lots of hours, Fender. Like, I bet I could compete with your ARC hours with the time I've spent playing Dragon Age. Yeah.
It's great. Well, I mean, it looks like a great game. The characters look really cool. I like how they have sort of sculpted the faces and stuff.
They're really neat looking. I love what they've done with character design in terms of the NPCs.
Yeah, it looks really good. Oh, is that it? Is that it for your gameplay?
Yeah, that's my gameplay.
Oh, well, guys, we've got a new GameStack challenge for you. We're reviving the GameStack challenge, and our new challenge is to send someone you love a virtual hug GIF. It can be either over social media or text message, email, however you want to do it. But send someone you love a virtual hug GIF. Tell us who that person is, either on social media or on Discord. I think maybe we'll create a GameStack Challenge channel in which people can just comment in. And tell us who that person is and why you chose that particular person. Maybe say something nice about them. We just thought, in this drab and dreary reality that we live in, that is 2020, we thought we would sprinkle a little bit of joy and positivity into the stream, and so
this is not a gameplay challenge. This is an IRL challenge.
This is however you want it to be challenge. So if you want to send somebody a virtual hug in video game, go ahead and do it. If you're in a virtual world, by all means, send them a virtual hug. You can do it over Discord, GIF capabilities in Discord. It can be a video game GIF if you want. But
if you do this on Twitter, be sure and use the hashtag GameStackChallenge.
Correct. Yes. We will create a channel in the GameStack We Just Love Games Discord for GameStack challenges. If you guys want to share your challenges there as well, that will help us sort of facilitate. But Dead Plant says, I'm surprised there isn't a channel in the Discord already. Well, we kind of phased out the GameStack challenge. And we're hoping that we can sort of revive it in a different spin. In terms of, injecting some positivity into our lives. And that's really, the whole point of why we do the show. So, yeah. So, I already know who's on my list.
Ooh.
Of somebody who I'm going to send a gift to. So,
fantastic.
It's like Valentine's Day. I'm so excited. Unfortunately, we don't have any listener emails. So if you would like to send us an email, all you got to do is send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com. We're more than happy to read your emails out on the show. We're always interested in what you have to say about video games and things that we talk about. Nice mug, Shalene, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's very, very fancy. It's got some butterflies on it. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's like a Day of the Dead mug. Got a Day of the Dead skull on it.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, we record that Fallout show next Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are also continuing on with the In It Together COVID-19 Relief Fund. We're taking your donations and any sort of promotion that you can give in terms of promoting the charity. If you're interested in finding out more about this, you can scroll down below the stream in the Twitch page right here. And the link is there. If you are curious how to access that link, you can send us a message on social media, and we're more than happy to send that to you. As I mentioned, you can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. Shalene, any plugs or announcements?
Of course, we will be recording that Fallout show next week, same bat time, same bat channel. So check that out. Also check out another podcast that I do called Dames Who Game, which is a fabulous show that I do with some fabulous ladies. And Vendertron streams on his personal channel, twitch.tv/Vendertron. So definitely check him out there.
Yeah, you can also find us on Twitter at We Just Love Games. You can find Shalene at Shalene L, Rick at Rick McVick, myself at Vendertron N. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, facebook.com/groups/We Just Love Games. You can find us on Discord. If you're interested, you can send us a message on social media and we'll provide you with the Discord link. If you're listening live right now in the show, you can scroll down right below in our Twitch page. The Discord link is there. We record live 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Don't forget, we're also on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and review the show. We will shout you out if we can. Thank you once again for listening. Shalene, any last words?
A crawfish called Nancy.
Crawfish, you guys. Crawfish.